Hey everyone, it's low carb and keto nutrition specialist Amy Berger from 2itnutrition.com, bringing you, as always, keto without the crazy. Before I get into today's heated topic, let me remind you about some important links down below in the notes. Check out the Stall Slayer Masterclass. It's coming up in September. It is based on my book, The Stall Slayer. You can get that at stallslayer.com. If you are having a really hard time losing body fat on keto, this is for you. The entire thing is dedicated to breaking fat loss stalls on keto. And I would say, even if you're not stuck in a keto fat loss stall, it might still be educational for you. Might still give you some insights into, why your scale weight fluctuates so much, setting realistic goals, how does exercise affect daily weight, lots of good stuff in there, even if you're not stuck. So check that out, Stall Slayer Masterclass. I have links down below also to 2 products that I use, that I love, that I trust, that I stand by. I am not an affiliate. They don't sponsor me. I don't get money to promote these products. I'm telling you about them because I genuinely enjoy them, trust them, like them, use them. And I do, however, get some free stuff from them. Not cash. They don't pay me. But if people use my links to buy stuff, I get free stuff from them too. So the first thing, I will also link to a video I did an unboxing. If you want some beef jerky that has zero sugar, People's Choice beef jerky, I'll link below. You can get a couple of bucks off your first order. And so that's the beef jerky. Then I recently did another video where I introduced you to Element, LMNT, the electrolyte that great for keto, great for not keto, great for people that just need more electrolytes. And I didn't actually show on that video, I should have. It comes in little packets. It's a box, but I mean, this box is what, 30 packs? It's a packet. Every pack is the same. It's 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. It comes in a whole bunch of different flavors. It is not a cheap product. It's pricey, but it's delicious, it's worth it, and if you're gonna spend money on electrolytes, then why not spend it with a company that, at least in my opinion, is run with integrity and honesty and honorability. And I mentioned in the video where I showed you this for the first time that I know the owners of the company personally. You have probably heard of them. You know who owns Element? Rob Wolf, Tyler Cartwright, and Luis Villaseñor. So Rob Wolf and Tyler and Luis are the founders of Keto Gains. And if there's anyone in this entire industry who knows what they're doing, it's those 3 people. And if there's anyone who's not gonna scam you, who's not gonna try to pull the wool over your eyes or tell you stuff that is not true, it's them. They are just straight shooters, honest people. Okay, enough. Zero sugar jerky electrolytes. Let's talk about tracking, the topic that I have a love-hate relationship with. So I have a teeny tiny bit of notes. Just there's like one sentence that I didn't want to forget. If you've been watching me for a while, or you've like read my blog or kind of follow me on Twitter, I really don't encourage tracking. I don't encourage people weighing and measuring their food and entering it into an app or a spreadsheet. I really don't. There is a time and place for it. I'm not completely opposed to it. I want it done in a constructive, productive way, not in a destructive, crazy-making way. This is keto without the crazy. So there's a lot to say. Let me see where I want to go first. So I do think that there is definitely a helpful, useful place for tracking. Let me stick a pin in that and come back to that later. Let's start with why I kind of don't like it. Part of I don't like it because I get several clients who come to me already having been tracking for sometimes years. Sometimes it's only weeks or months. If they're new to keto and they've only been, they're 4 weeks in, a month in, whatever, even a couple of months. Some people can bring me years of data, not just from keto. They've been tracking their food for 10 years, regardless of what particular strategy they were following, if any. They've just been logging their food, recording their food. And the part of the reason I don't like it is because it's not working for them. If they were happy with where they were, with how things had progressed and where they had gotten to, why would they be giving someone money to help them figure out how to eat? You know, like, there's a guy named Jason Seib, S-E-I-B. I'm not sure if he's still active in the field or not, but I followed him years ago. He said the greatest line, and you know, I don't steal from people. I wish I could, but when I hear someone say something brilliant, I repeat it, but I give them credit. Jason Seib is like a nutrition and health coach, and he said, I have the dumbest job in the world. Like, my job should not exist. The fact that somebody would pay someone else to tell them what to eat is almost obscene. It's crazy, but that's how confusing this has all become. That's how scary and how overwhelming this has all become, that it's not crazy and obscene. It's like, why wouldn't you need professional help at this point? Why wouldn't you need someone to help you sort through it all? Anyway, you know, these people come to me with their reams and reams of data and tracking. If that had helped them, why do they need me? You have the numbers, you know exactly what you're eating. You've known what you've eaten and how much every day for the past 6 months, 6 years, 10 years. Has that helped you accomplish anything you wanted to accomplish? You've already been tracking for 6 months or a year or 5 years. It's not helping you. Because if it was helping you, we wouldn't be speaking. We wouldn't be having this consultation. Why are you doing it? Better yet, why are you so afraid to stop? People become like physically agitated if I even hint that maybe they could stop with the tracking for a little bit. And I'll stick a pin in that too. I'll come back to that in a minute. But it's almost like a palpable fear. They're afraid to let go of the tracking, afraid to not use the app, afraid to not use the spread. They're afraid to not know exactly how much broccoli they've had and exactly how many ounces of pork they had. They're terrified not to know, even though they've known. They've known every day for the past months and years. The knowing never helped. It's just like the people that weigh themselves every day. It's a little bit different because I know some people weigh themselves because it helps them stay on the straight and narrow, right? But they have a healthy relationship with that number. They see the number, okay, I'm within my range that I've set for myself, I'm good to go. I'm not opposed to weighing yourself daily. I'm opposed to weighing yourself daily if that number determines your self-worth in your own mind. If that number is emotionally destructive to you, why are you going out of your way to look at it every day? So it's kind of like the people that do weigh themselves every day, and they're still 100 pounds overweight or still 25 pounds overweight. Knowing how much your body weighs every day clearly has not helped you make that number any smaller. Knowing that number on a daily basis hasn't made the number decrease. So like with the tracking, now maybe it has. If you're someone that has lost weight, that's a different story. With the tracking, knowing exactly how much you have been eating hasn't helped you eat less of it or eat differently or change it or whatever you need to do to get to where you want to go. All you know is numbers, and it's useless to you if it's not helping you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. So now, and what is the problem there? And well, so before I forget, I'll come back to the second pin that I stuck about the fear, that palpable terror of stopping tracking. I never, when I have a client that I can tell is kind of in that situation, I never just say, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. From now on, you're not tracking. You're done track. No, that's a little too much for some people. What I try to do is gently, maybe more gently than I'm coming across in this video, but like one-on-one, in a very sort of gentle way, ask them these questions. Well, you've been tracking already. Like, you brought me this, 4 months worth of numbers. Is it helping? Like, has this helped you? And of course the answer is no, because if it had, we wouldn't be having a consultation. So when they're able to sort of see that it's not actually getting them anywhere, they're much less afraid of letting go. They're so afraid to let go because they think they need to track. They need to, except they've already been doing it and it's getting them nowhere. So when they kind of realize, oh, you're right. I've already been tracking and I'm not progressing in any way. Like, I know the numbers. I have the data and it's not working. So what if I didn't have the numbers? If you have the numbers and it's not working, it's no different from not having the numbers. So I kind of like walk them back from the ledge, so to speak. Like, it's okay to let go of the tracking because you're already doing it and it's not working. Why do you want to go out of your way to do something that's not working? You want to deliberately choose to take time out of your schedule to bring up the phone app or to weigh and measure when it's not working? Like, I give you permission to stop. You're allowed to stop tracking. Okay, that was that thing. Then the other part of this, and I remember I stuck the other pin, but for now, because I got to come back to where I do think tracking is helpful and useful. But why sometimes tracking doesn't quote unquote work because you actually have the wrong numbers. And I hate macros too. I very, very rarely give anyone exact amounts of anything to aim for. Calories, macros, grams. I just kind of give them some overarching ideas to work with, a construct, a framework to work within, rather than, because I don't want them to track anyway. So if I tell you that you have to get 120 grams of protein, you're not going to know because you ain't tracking anyway. But if anything, sometimes I will give people numbers to aim for because I think they actually need more of something, like more calories, more protein. Usually, if I ever ask somebody to track, it's because I want to make sure they're getting a bare minimum of something, not because I'm worried they're getting too much. Now, that is a thing, though. There's definitely such a thing as too much, whether it's fat or calories or whatever. But the thing with tracking, there's two ways to look at this. Is it not working because you have numbers that are not appropriate for your goals? Maybe you are tracking and you are sticking to it religiously. Like, this is the plan somebody gave you and you're doing it, and you're doing it every day. You're tracking it. You're not lying. You're not trying to kid yourself. You are recording and logging every single thing you eat or drink. You're not like, oh, well, I had that 1 pack of that, I'm just not gonna put that in. You are really diligent about it and it's not working. It's entirely possible that you're chasing the wrong numbers. We see this all the time in keto, all the time. People eating way too much fat, not enough protein, sometimes very often too many carbs. It runs the gamut depending on the situation. So that, tracking can work if you're tracking the right things. You've got to be tracking the right things because that's, a big part of this. If you're already tracking and you've been tracking for a long time, or I say tracking, I mean logging too, like just logging your food, writing it down, if you've already been doing that for a while and it's not working, you might just need to adjust. You need to adjust. And that's, so when I said there's two ways, it might be like, okay, tracking does work for you and it will help you once you get better numbers, once you get better, goals that are more appropriate to your situation. And then the other thing where tracking can help, and I guess this is going even way back to where tracking can be very helpful and useful. If you're not tracking, if you've never tracked before and you think you're doing everything right, you think you're like, I'm following the list, I'm doing XYZ, it is very possible that your perception is completely divorced from reality. There's what you think you've been eating, how much you think you've been eating or drinking, and then there's the actuality. There's what you've actually been eating or drinking and how much. So clearly, tracking can be helpful in that regard, because our eyeballs can lie to us. If you haven't tracked ever, or if you've been away from it for a long time, you don't know how to eyeball a tablespoon of cream or a teaspoon of whatever. You might be putting double in there or half or whatever. It just, your measurement might be wildly inaccurate. So you think in your heart and your mind, you think you are having 1 tablespoon of cream in your coffee, or 1 or 2 tablespoons of salad dressing, and you're actually having 3. And you're having 3 cups of coffee a day. So you're looking at like multiple tablespoons there. And so tracking can definitely be useful there. It can be very eye-opening if you've got a little bit of a heavy hand, or maybe you think, and ladies, I'm going to link, don't make me talk to you about protein again, ladies. I'm going to link to the videos I've done on higher protein, especially for women. You might think you're having a huge pork chop or a massive steak, and it's like a 5-ouncer. Don't kid me, please. Like, don't make me laugh. You think, because compared to what you think is normal or appropriate for a woman or whatever, so you think you're having this big massive portion, and I would look at it like, where's the rest? Like, is that only half? Like, the other half is in the pan still, right? So tracking can really open your eyes to the reality of what you're eating and how much. So, and not just that, but if you commit to really being honest with yourself, 100% honest with yourself, and you are going to write down every single thing you eat. You're making dinner for the kids. Oh, there's still half a fish stick on the plate. I'll take that bite. Oh, Billy's got a little bit of chicken nugget. You walk past your coworker's desk and they've got the Hershey Kisses. I'll just take one. You write down all of it. That can be very eye-opening and educational too. And I was very deliberate. I said, you're honest with yourself. The beautiful thing about that kind of tracking is that no one else has to see it. Unless, if you are working with a nutritionist or a dietitian or a health coach or something, and they want to see it, then someone else is going to look at it. You can lie to them, you can fudge the log if you want to, but you're only cheating yourself. But if you are just logging and tracking for your own purposes, for you to see your own baseline. Okay, I think I'm eating this much fat and this much protein, but am I? Like, I really don't know. Let me track for 2 weeks and see. Let me see how far off I am or how close I am to what I thought. And you're the only one that has to look at it. Whether you keep an old school Excel spreadsheet, whether you have a fancy app in the phone, or old school like Amy Berger, a little baby mini-sized notebook and a pen. I'm like radically old school. If you just want to write it down, then you're the only one who has to ever see it. So nobody's going to laugh at you. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to wag their finger in shame at you. It's just what it is very, very useful information and feedback for you. Because, this is where tracking helps. Oh, I'm not losing weight, or my blood sugar's still high. Oh, well, I'm eating 200 grams of fat a day. No wonder. I thought I was eating half that. Or just, I didn't realize how many of those little little tastes here and there of something sugary, I didn't realize how much I was doing that every day or every week. So obviously there is that time and place for tracking, but I really want to emphasize you have to be tracking numbers that are appropriate. Like, if you have tracked in the past and it failed you, why do you think it failed? Like, why do you think it didn't get you? You were tracking. You're supposed to track and this works. Are you just bad at math? Are you bad at math? Were you physically, like, you didn't understand how to operate your food scale or your tablespoon? You don't know that, like, the tablespoon measure is the tablespoon and you're supposed to put the thing in and that's how you get a table. Like, did you not know how to operate this equipment? Did you not know how to read the digital readout that says it's X grams or X ounces of food? Like, is that the disconnect here, or did your numbers just suck? Were you following a plan? Were you getting numbers that are wholly inappropriate to you? You know, we've got people out there using macro calculators that are based in nothing. I don't know what algorithms these things employ. I don't know who designed them. I don't know where they come from. Most of them are crap. Most of them will steer you wrong. I don't like macro calculators as a general rule. If you really, really want to use one, or not even follow one to the letter, but just get an idea for what a trustworthy macro calculator might give you, there is one on the Keto Gains website, ketogains.com. I think it's still there. I'll put a link to it if it is. If not, it won't be there. But it's very different. The Keto Gains approach is a little bit higher protein, lower fat. They do net carbs, so they'll do like 20 or 25 grams net carbs, so you can subtract fiber from things like broccoli and almonds and stuff like that. So that's different from, you know, the Dr. Westman's famous page 4 and all that, where he does total carbs. So if you absolutely positively cannot live without a macro calculator, that's the one I recommend. But even then, you know, I wouldn't take that as gospel. I would take that as, see how different that recommendation is for you compared to what you've already been doing for however long you've been doing it. That's, for me, that would be really the purpose, is like, whoa, oh, they think I should be having like 40 grams more protein than I'm getting a day, or, you know, 30 grams less fat. So that's just all very eye-opening stuff. And I've been doing a lot of videos lately on giving yourself permission to do keto or low carb, or any other diet for that matter, any other way of eating, giving yourself permission to do it in whatever way works best for you, right? Regardless of what some guru or some genius doctor on the internet is telling you to do, they don't know you. They don't know your history. They don't know your habits, your addictions, your situation. You know, the human body is the human body, but beyond that, we've all got some stuff to deal with. So even if your approach and what you have identified works best for you is radically different from what some fancy schmancy expert is recommending, are you going to trust the fancy schmancy expert? Or are you going to trust the thing that you're doing that's actually working, and working well, and working maybe for the first time in your entire life? I mean, we don't want to ignore experts, but who's the expert on your body? Who's the expert on your brain? You might not feel like you are, but you are. You might feel like, I have no freaking clue what my body's trying to tell me. But as clueless as you might feel, you know a hell of a lot more about your own body and brain than Dr. Schmo does, you know? So give yourself, if you've been tracking forever and ever and ever, and you're not getting anywhere, give yourself permission to just drop it. Let it go. Let it go. You don't have to carry it with you forever. There is life beyond the math. There's life beyond the app. There's life beyond the spreadsheet. you know, and it's just like keto itself. If you've been tracking forever and you're scared, you're one of these people who really is like terrified to give up the tracking, you can ease your way out of it gradually. And like, just off the top of my head, kind of an example of how to do that is, let's say you normally actually weigh and measure the food. You've got a food scale, you've got your tablespoons and your cups. You log everything, still write everything down, just don't measure the quantities. Say, breakfast, I had 3 eggs, 2 strips of bacon, and what, I guess that is quantities. Let's pick a different meal then. Let's go with dinner. You had chicken and grilled asparagus. That's what you, and olive oil dressing. You're going to write down chicken, asparagus, olive oil dressing. You don't know whether you had 4 ounces of chicken or 8 ounces. You don't know whether you had 3 or 6 ounces of asparagus. You don't know whether you had 1 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. You don't know. You're still writing it down. You're still in that comfort place of like, okay, at least I know I didn't eat a donut. I know I didn't drink a sugar soda. I know I didn't have, you know, a bagel. I had, you know, nice fatty meat and vegetables or a good healthy fat or whatever. I just don't happen to know the exact quantity of those things I had. So you have that safety net, but it's taking some of the pressure off. It's taking the inconvenience away. You don't have to whip out the food scale every time you want to put something in your mouth. And then, you know, over time, you back away even from that. You just stop. Or maybe you track breakfast and not lunch and dinner, or you track whatever you decide to do. Yeah, you could just, it's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. Just kind of ease out of it. Hold on to some small pieces of it while you let go of others. Or it could be even where, let's say, you have been using one of those really fancy apps where it does all this math for you and it's got graphs and grids and Maybe you move away from that and you go old school and you pick up just a mini little logbook and a pen. And you know, I had broccoli, I had broiled cod, and I had ranch dressing. So that, like, lots of different ways to customize your gradual escape from the tracking. I don't want to call it a prison, from the shackles of that's even worse. I don't know. The just from tracking. That's a way to ease your way out of it. Let's just put it that way. I'm coming up on 30 minutes, and I can't believe I've been talking for 30 minutes about tracking. So I'm going to stop. If you find tracking helpful, like if you are the type of person that weighs yourself every day because it helps you stay focused, it helps you, you're never gonna get to a point where, like, oh my, I lost 100 pounds and then I regained 40 because I never got on the scale ever and I didn't realize how much I had gained. If getting on the scale every day or every week helps prevent that, because you know, what was I going to say? Because you were looking at the number, like, fine, it can be helpful. It's like anything. There's implementing it in a healthy, useful, constructive way, and there's implementing it in a terrible, destructive, horrible way. So if tracking helps you, then do it. If you've already been doing it for a million years and it's making you crazy and you're not getting the results you want anyway, stop tracking. Or work with somebody who can help you refine the numbers you've been aiming for, because tracking works, but you got to be tracking the right things. You have to be chasing numbers that are appropriate for yourself if you're going to chase numbers at all. And I guess that's it for now. Stall Slayer Masterclass, definitely check that out. Zero sugar beef jerky, the element, and if anyone is watching this from the Netherlands or anywhere close to the Netherlands, Dr. Westman and I and Gary Taubes and Tim Noakes are going to be speaking at the Ancestral Health Symposium in the Netherlands on October 2nd. Do come see us. If I have fans in the Netherlands, I would be thrilled to meet you. So come on out to the Netherlands, and I will see you next time. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. At some point, I am going to step up the background game. We're going to like have a real bookshelf or plants or something like normal people have in their backgrounds. And until then, keto without the crazy. See ya.